Alright, what's going on, everybody? So this weekend we got UFC 319, which is honestly probably the best event all year for the UFC. So I'll be giving my predictions for the full main card and giving my breakdown on how I think the fights will go. Real quick, before I get into the video, 94% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you like UFC, Misfits boxing, or pro boxing content, I post 2 to 4 times a week on this channel at least, so make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate you. So the first fight that we're going to be talking about is Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Now, obviously, Kai Asakura is coming off a loss from Pantoja, but they kind of fed him into the wolves for that one. I don't really like when they feed. Yeah, he was great other places, but giving him a title shot right away was a bad idea, especially against Pantoja. He's one of the better pound-for-pound fighters in the entire world. So I feel like this is going to be way different, though. Tim Elliott's been around for a very long time. He's seen it all, but he hasn't fought in 2 years. So initially going into this, I was thinking that Kai Asakura is obviously a very creative striker. He is extremely fast, and that is his main strength. His kicks are very strong, and he has very fast hands. Now, Tim Elliott's mainly known for his wrestling, and I could think that maybe he can cause some problems from Kai Asakura, just given some adversity to get over, but Kai Asakura was actually able to get away from some takedowns and some clinch work from Pantoja before getting submitted. And that's probably some of the best wrestling you're going to see in that division. So I don't think he's going to have a problem with Tim Elliott. I think that he will he'll have some adversity where he's being held against a cage, maybe one takedown. But I think for the most part, Kai Asakura is going to be able to get away from him. And I honestly think this could be a first-round knockout because Kai Asakura is a special striker. And he really needs to make a statement in this fight, in my opinion. So I'm going to go first-round finish for Kai Asakura. I'm going to say knockout, clean. I'm trying to think of what. I'm going to say that he gets a lunging left hook and rocks him and then finishes him maybe with a knee or a kick. Something flashy, I think. This will be a very good knockout because Tim Elliott will be there for him. He leaves himself pretty open, and he's been hurt before. In the past. So yeah, I'm going Kai Asakura for round 1 knockout in this fight. Next fight is Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. Now, this should be a pretty good fight on paper. I don't necessarily think it matches up for Cannonier very well, and I'll get to that in a second, but Cannonier has been fairly active. He fought in February against RoboCop, and he lost to Baralho last year. He lost to Imavov last year, Vittori in 2023, and Strickland in 2022. He won Vittori and Strickland, but he's really been around the middleweight division, but he's 40 now. I know Michael Venom Page is like 38, 37 years old, but the speed difference is pretty drastic because, yes, Cannonier has some vicious ground and pound and wrestling that he could apply in this fight, but I think on the feet it's going to be way too drastic, man. MVP already fights at a distance that most people struggle to hit him. Never mind somebody that has kind of regressed in speed in Jared Cannonier. Don't get me wrong, he has some cannons in his hands. No pun intended. That would have been a very lame joke if I tried that anyways. But Jared Cannonier is vicious, and he should walk forward. And that's the thing with these Michael Venom Page fights. He's one of my favorite fighters in UFC. Him and Alex are probably my favorite fighters. But when somebody doesn't engage with him, it can be a bit boring in the fights because MVP likes to fight at range. He likes to close the distance when you're coming at him. And Jared Cannonier has some nice leg kicks, but Michael Venom Page has said before that he would prefer that he throw leg kicks because it gives him openings for a straight right hand, which he lands with ease very easily. Just the way he's able to close the distance is elite, and nobody can really deal with him, and I think Cannonier isn't going to be any different. Maybe he could wrestle up Michael Venom Page, but Michael Venom Page has also shown some good takedown defense in his career. Ian Gary was able to hold him there, but he wasn't doing anything special. He was just stalling. And there's been other times, too. In the Kevin Holland fight, he wasn't able to let Kevin Holland take him down. There were times that Kevin Holland was putting him against the cage, but he was still able to separate and mess up Kevin Holland. So if I think he's messing up Kevin Holland, I know it's a different weight class, he's going to piece up Jared Cannonier. I think that it will go to decision. I think I would love a sick finish from Michael Venom Page, but actually, I don't know if I'm disowning my own point because I think Cannonier is going to go for him. So, you know what? I think that Michael Venom Page is going to get a finish in round 3 from a TKO. I was going to go decision, but I think Cannonier is going to push the pace to the point where he's going to get caught because, like I said, that's the only difference between a good and bad Michael Venom Page is if the opponent wants to engage. So, yeah, I'm going to go Michael Venom Page finish in round 3. I think his speed is going to be way too much for him, but it should be a good fight, though. Next fight, Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this isn't a good matchup for Jeff Neal either because there's the thing with Carlos Prates. He really struggled in the Ian Gary fight at first because Ian Gary's so elusive on the feet, the way he moves, the way he circles around the octagon and keeping at range. Jeff Neal is none of that. He is in front of your face the entire time. And he has some power. He has a great 1-2. He has power in his straight left hands. And he's tough, but in every single Jeff Neal fight, he ends up on the cage. He ends up with his back against the cage, and that is probably the worst place you want to be with Carlos Prates. He is nasty against the cage. That's really where he can let his hands go. As one of the reasons why he really struggled with Ian Gary, once again, because Ian Gary didn't let him trap him against the cage. Because that's where Carlos Prates really likes to unload. You know, Carlos Prates has some unreal power in both hands. He has some nasty kicks and knees. So that's why I think that the main game plan for Carlos Prates is going to be push Jeff Neal against the cage and finish him there. And I don't think it could take that long, to be honest with you. I could see it happening in like round 2. I know that he had a split decision with Ian Gary, but matchups make fights. And Carlos Prates just simply has more finishing ability than Ian Gary. Ian Gary's more of a point fighter, balanced fighter. Ian Gary has good striking, don't get me wrong, but it's not world-ending like Carlos Prates. That's why I have no idea how Carlos Prates didn't win that Ian Gary fight because he had Ian Gary literally Fortnite crawling away. Ian Gary was literally downed, and he wasn't able to finish it. So, Carlos Prates early is dangerous when the opponent is in front of him. This is a very bad matchup for Jeff Neal and a great matchup for Carlos Prates. So, I think there's going to be a second-round TKO for Carlos Prates. I feel pretty confident about that. It could happen in round 1, but Jeff Neal's tough. So I think that there will be a finish in round 2 for Carlos Prates. Let me know if you guys agree. For the co-main event, I think, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Now, this is actually interesting. I will say first off the bat, these PFL Bellator guys coming in, I'm kind of done believing in them. Even though Aaron Pico has incredible power, and I got to say, his left hooks to the body, like I'm a boxing fan, like more than UFC, so that was very fun to watch. I want Aaron Pico to become big in the UFC. That's the thing that I just can't believe it anymore with Patricio Pitbull. He redeemed himself recently. You could say, sure. God, Patchy Mix was awful, and he was like the Michael Jordan, not Michael Jordan, the Bellator. Man, Michael Chandler's won one time in the UFC, and he's one of the biggest fighters that Bellator has ever had. So you get the point I'm trying to make. I'm not a big believer in the crossover, and especially later in their career, and giving them a good fighter off rip. I don't believe in this, because Aaron Pico has incredible power in his hands. Unreal power in his hands. And he's able to mix in the takedowns too. But Lerone Murphy is way too crafty of a striker. We've seen in fights where somebody has some real power. In the Josh Emmett fight, people called it boring, but he showed that he could be elusive and outstrike somebody and stay out of the danger of the power. I feel like that is the perfect fight to study for Aaron Pico because he loves to let his hands go. He uses his kicks to set up his punches, but he is mainly just a very powerful boxer. And like I said, he has some wrestling, so maybe ground and pound is the way you can win this fight. But I don't know, man. If I'm going to bet on it, I think Lerone Murphy's going to outclass him on the feet. Lerone Murphy even has his own grappling of his own. So I think there is a chance that Lerone Murphy's just going to be on a different level than Aaron Pico. I think that if Aaron Pico proves me wrong, I'll be very happy because he has dynamic power in his hands. I said it 5 times already, but it's something you have to consider. Lerone Murphy has to be moving a lot in this fight. We're not going to see his creative long combinations, I don't think, in this fight. I don't think Pico is going to be bullied up against the fence in striking. If he's going to be up against the fence, I think it's going to be grappling from Lerone Murphy. So I think Lerone Murphy has way more passive victories for his fights. I think his kicks are better. He doesn't have as much power as Pico, but I think he's going to be able to outstrike him. So I'm going to go to Rome Murphy by decision. I think Pico could win this, and I think it will be great for the Bellator PFO guys. It'll make their stock rise a lot. And honestly, I want him to win. I think the Rome Murphy is sick too, but I'm a boxing fan. So if I see a nasty body head combination knockout, Pico is going to be one of my favorite fighters in UFC, but I don't believe it until I see it with these Bellator guys anymore. So I'm going to go with the Rome Murphy by decision. Right now, for what you guys probably clicked the video for, the main event, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, this will be the most chaotic first round in UFC history. I will guarantee you that right now. I got Dricus by making a fake tunnel and making Khamzat run into it. Yeah, that's my prediction. But no, I gotta say, guys, I didn't fully think about it till I started recording because I feel like that's the best way to do it. So I'm gonna run through it. Of course, we know Khamzat likes to fight 1 time a year, and usually inactivity is the main thing on my channel for me predicting fights. And it really depends. For me, obviously, we know Khamzat Chimaev has some dominant wrestling. He's probably the most dominant fighter in the whole UFC. Whatever he does, he usually just gets. I remember he just lifted some dude up and just walked with him one time. He has the fastest entry and takedowns in the whole UFC. And he is incredibly strong. I don't know how he could be that strong and fast. And the craziest thing about Chimaev, if you worry too much about the takedown, he will hit you right in your face. He got some serious power. He's a freak. He's a freak. So it's really hard to not pick first round finish because I feel like that's the only way he can win. But Dricus du Plessis is also very strong too. And he has some wrestling. It's not like he's just a kickboxer. He's a mixed martial artist. He's overall a good fighter. Even though he's goofy and he has certain ways to hit you. This first round is going to be Khamzat trying to submit du Plessis. And I think du Plessis is going to get up a couple times, move by doing something unorthodox or something like that. Or he does something to get up and he gets caught in a submission trying to do too much. Realistically, I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like it's such a lame pick, but it's hard to bet on it. Du Plessis has lost 2 times, but it's not in UFC. He's completely undefeated in UFC. He has dynamic striking and just unpredictability. He's admitted that he doesn't think about what he does before he does it. He just does it. He just is Dricus. So first round's going to be Looney Tunes. I'm not going to deny that. But is there going to be a finish in the first round? Probably. And I know people have been saying closer to the fight. It's not as simple as if it's past the first round, Dricus wins. I think it is. Khamzat fights 1 time a year. And if we're being honest with you, I'll say it right now. If Khamzat wins, I think he retires. He can't fight in the United States. That's a nightmare for the UFC as a champion, even though they love the Saudi cards now. And he can't stay healthy. He has health problems a lot. He seems to get sick very easily. A whole lot going on. So I think Khamzat retires if he wins. You know what? Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction because I'm sure 100 YouTube channels have predicted a Khamzat round 1 finish. I think Dricus is going to do it. Fuck it. Dricus is going to do it. He's going to survive round 1. And he's going to be able to escape Chimaev later in the fight. I think if it is a later fight, it's going to be a very ugly fight where Dricus is just outstriking him and getting away from Khamzat's frequent takedowns. But this could just be a round 1 finish for Khamzat, but I feel like that's boring. I think that Dricus is going to move and be able to get away from Khamzat's takedowns because if I'm not mistaken, well, Kamaru Usman was able to handle Khamzat on the ground. So, to be fair, it is Kamaru Usman. But to be fair, I think it's Dricus du Plessis. I think he is very strong. And I feel like that could be the factor where he could level Khamzat a little bit and be able to handle the takedowns. I think Dricus might be the strongest that Khamzat has faced so far, unless you want to count Usman or Gilbert Burns. I think he could be the strongest. He might have the best unorthodox ways to get to his feet from a takedown, and Khamzat should drain after at least halfway through round 2, realistically, because he's not used to adversity, really. Kamaru gave him some adversity. Whitaker easily got submitted. Kevin Holland gave him some adversity being able to scramble, but he was able to finish Kevin Holland because of scrambling. And that's why I think the first round finish is likely and not that boring of a pick, because Kevin Holland was squirming around, and that's how you get up, but that's how you get caught in a submission too. So it is either a round 1 submission for Chimaev or absolute hellfare from Dricus du Plessis. So, God, this is a hard one to predict if you're picking Dricus. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to say that Dricus just drains him out and wins in round 3 or 4. I think he'll win by... I don't know. Can I even pick Dricus? I don't know. Guys, I tried. I'm going to go Khamzat round 1 submission. I'm sorry. I am all over the place, but I can't do it. I tried. How would Dricus win if he wins? If it's not decision? And this will not go to decision. If Khamzat drains to the point where he's exhausted, Dricus should finish him. But how would he finish him? Would he TKO Khamzat? I don't know. So, fuck it. This is the best YouTube channel ever. I'm all over the place. I'm going Dricus du Plessis TKO in round 4. I think Khamzat's going to gas out and he's just going to show up and get finished. So I'm going to go Dricus du Plessis here. This is a long take for this main event prediction. Holy shit, 6 minutes. But there is a whole lot of yapping deserved, because what the hell is going to happen in this fight? Especially the first round. We have no clue. But you know what? I have faith in Dricus long term in the fight. I think he'll be able to survive round 1 and the beginning of round 2. And Khamzat's going to severely slow down after that, I think. So, yeah, I got Dricus by round 4 TKO. Let me know if you guys agree. Those are my predictions for UFC 319. If you disagree with any of my picks, please feel free to debate in the comments. I'm not offended or anything. The engagement is good, if anything. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff still matters since I'm a small channel trying to grow. Obviously, stay posted for my instant reaction after UFC 319. I do that after all the pay-per-views. So, again, subscribe. I be grinding for y'all, even though I ain't making money yet. I will. I promise you. But you guys got to help me out, you know what I'm saying? But thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual. God bless every single one of you. And peace out.
I think they do a show and stuff.
What's your favorite song?
Oh, and I can't explain that. I love music.
You love all kinds of music?
Yes, but except for hip-hop. Well,
You don't like hip-hop?
and no, not too much.
I've been rapping, I all be practicing, hopping on top of the game. I'm spitting the fire, my phone, the light, your months, they call me Kane. Get people to talking about, I'm a walkers, I do not fuck with lames. People say hating them lyrical saying, cause Mo's igniting the flames.
Sign that pill, the pressure give you lecture when you sign that deal. World stand still, the devil offers something where you take that skill. Shit get real, and the pussy dropping, going in like Batman. I don't need a shorty came right over and she backed up. Now we moving cause I'm fucking raised in the bathtub. Crazy how the fucking only started with a back rub. Now we in the city fucking dancing in the sack love.
You steady fucking switching, stay up in your fucking lane. And shorty super soaker, I can hit your ass for range. Shorty doing ass and you knowing where it's going. Steady sipping codeine, yeah, you knowing in my potion.